we're talking today with Commissioner Bob Cole. And Commissioner, you are the District 2 Commissioner, and you're running for re-election.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to run for re-election? You've served 2 terms.
I have. We've got a lot of issues that are kind of pending. The big one for me is finishing Avalon Boulevard. It was a big one when I started. It was something that I promised the citizens that I'd work diligently on. I felt we made good traction on it with the work you see going on out there in Phase 1 and Phase 2, and now have the potential of either moving the excess dollars from those 2 projects to continue Avalon, or even East Tiger $2 in the stimulus bill. So I feel it's very important for us to get Avalon Boulevard completed, at least to the interstate. If you go out there probably this time of the morning and stand there, you'll see hundreds of people just waiting to get through the traffic lights, getting to work and stuff. And by having that 4-laned all the way to the interstate, we've got good interstate ramps that would accept that type of traffic. So let's get them people to work, make it a little easier on them.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, the hurricane evacuation area of that too. People coming off the interstate plus coming off the Garcon Point Bridge. It all bottlenecks right there.
What do you see as the major challenges that Santa Rosa is going to be facing in coming years?
Continued lack of growth. If we can't keep instilling businesses to come in here, what other incentive do we have for growth? And of course, if we can bring business in, that's going to bring more jobs. It increases the demand on housing, brings more people to our stores, our local shops and stores. And right now we're seeing what it cost us for no growth. I mean, we have contracting businesses that have been here for years looking for work or going out of business. We've got all kind of laborers that are looking for work. So that's very important that we continue being diligent on job growth and keeping that, I think, the forefront. We rely a lot on the military, a lot on tourism, but how can we use systems like Florida's Great Northwest? It was actually stood up by the federal government. We're one of 13 areas of the country that got these federal dollars to stand up an economic development engine to develop other sources of revenue, other sources of businesses that you don't, in areas, I guess, that rely too much on the military. And I say too much in a nice way because, we're certainly glad they're here, but how do we buffer for that in the future? If a BRAC would one day take some of our military away, how do we get ready for that type of thing and continue to grow?
Touching on economic development, and I have to mention this, I'm sorry, there's been a lot of criticism of the Pullum property purchase. It was $3.2 million. There was an original appraisal for $900,000. You voted to approve that. Do you stand by that decision? Would you just do it again, or?
I would because I live right across the street from there. I've watched property values in that area over the years. In '74, I was fortunate enough to buy 2 acres out there in a pecan grove for $5,000, $2,500 an acre. But yet I've asked neighbors, would you be interested in selling acreage? And can't find acreage out there for less than $15,000 to $20,000 for just agricultural land without any amenities. So, I feel with water and sewerage at the doorstep, certainly not plumbed through the park, but at the doorstep, the amount of property we have, it gives us a good menu of properties. We got the Whiting Aviation Park for aviation-related industries, and through the fence deal that we secured with the Navy, that's like no other. I mean, how much would it cost a municipality to have a 6,000-foot runway and a manned control tower? There's a lot of talk about the runway, but we've got a brand new manned control tower for landing aircraft, so that's a plus. And there's a lot of argument, well, Bob, you got a lot of room still in the existing industrial park. Well, why don't we fill that up before we go buying more property? Well, my answer to that is that if we fill, say Publix, Home Depot, somebody came along, did a distribution center, didn't need rail. We put them in 20 acres in our existing park where we have rail availability, and we're proving that constantly. We're getting grants from the state to increase our rail activity in our park. So if we fill that park with people that don't need rail and then get the opportunity for somebody that does need rail, we've missed that opportunity. So I think with the relationship to the interstate, the relationship with 87 South and the new 4-laning, is the price right? You know that's always to be argued. What's going to tell the investment, the quality of the investment, is what we can do with that in the future. For too many years, we've taken a back seat to other counties. We lost the Ace Hardware deal. We lost the deal with dollar stores. And you drive by Marietta and see a half-mile-long building. These places aren't going to come to Santa Rosa County and say, hey, how about going out and finding us a piece of property, see what you can find. They're looking for counties that are aggressive enough to be ready to pull the trigger on a deal, and that's where we're at with all these parks now. We can tell them what incentives we have in place, what has been approved by the board, go after, if we get a tenant in there, we can go after, again, state grant dollars to develop our infrastructure. So that's something the public can't do. Private. When an individual owns that property, he can't go to the state for dollars to build infrastructure. As us, the county, we can do those things, and we've proven that over and over again. I think we've seen good economic development, good use of the dollars with Hackney, Clearwire, the company that builds the wiring harnesses for the generation systems. We've lost a few in there, but we can't control their investment. We can offer them incentives, try to get the jobs here and put them to work, but we can't make it go after that. That's not our job to protect their investment to a degree where if they've made a bad business choice, or if the economy falters, like in the case with 84 Lumber. Fortunately, they're looking at maybe redoing that, and we may see them back again. But certainly ProBuild. ProBuild was a company, and I asked ProBuild, I said, how do you come into an area? And if you recall, ProBuild opened up during a declining economy, and they're doing well. And they said, that's our business model. We go into areas as when we see a decline, and we purchase then, and we start standing up then, because we know things are going to turn around. Well, why shouldn't we use that same theory as a county? Buy the property. Certainly if Pullum was selling property right and left to everybody, and there was a demand for it, there wouldn't have been an offer on the table. Now, the existing appraisal of about $9,000 approximately an acre. Again, I can't find people that's willing to sell just agricultural acreage out there for that kind of money, unless you get quite a ways away from the interstate exit. My neighbors won't sell it. I would not consider selling it at that kind of dollars. So, and I've been out there since 1972.
Gotcha. Okay. See how we're doing on time here. Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up our time. We appreciate you talking to us, Commissioner Bob Cole, candidate for County Commission District District 2, excuse me.